Big day for the Langwarrin Football Club. Bushman's Cup Day against Pearsdale as they try and square the ledger at 3-3 in the seniors. But also a massive day for the club because they are remembering the 1969 Premiership team who beat Rye, who were going into the finals of red hot favourites. But this team from Langwarrin were too good. Marty who started the day on the bench, and in those days it was 19th, 20th man. You generally didn't come on until the closing stages, but there was an injury and he got his chance in the third quarter. Marty, great to have you with us. What's it like being here with all the fellow players from 1969?
Fantastic, and most of us still survive.
Yeah, well, and the interesting thing is that there are so many great stories to tell. Are you embellishing those stories? Can you embellish those stories?
We've got lots of stories coming up today, and as I've said before, most of them are even true.
Tell us about that season, because you played great footy, but Rye were clearly the best side.
Oh, they were, yeah.
And you drew with them in the second semi. Did you feel by drawing with them in the second semi that you had a chance to beat them if you got another crack at them in the grand final, provided you beat them in the second semi replay the next week?
Yeah, well, we were coming home in a wet sail because they'd beaten us twice during the home and away season, and then when we came up against them in the second semi, we were jumping out of our skin, and we were a bit stiff that we actually drew because we thought we should have probably won it. Anyway, we replayed them the next week and we overcome them, and they were pretty sunk at that stage. They played Rosebud the next week in the prelim final, overcome Rosebud, and then played us in the grand final. But even in the grand final, Rye were pretty much the red hot favourites because they were the top team of the year, and they succumbed to our pressure.
So tell me, why was the grand final at Rye? I would have thought it would have been a neutral venue.
Oh no, it was at Somerville.
Oh, it was at Somerville, right?
Yeah.
Right. And did that help you guys, do you think?
Oh, not really. I mean, the last home and away game we'd beaten Rosebud at Rosebud, and the game before when we played them here, they thumped us. So we were ready to play anywhere. We were, as I said, we were just jumping out of our skin, ready to go.
Now you were on the bench, and you've been in the team all year. How did you feel about starting the grand final on the bench?
It was a little bit sort of a downer being dropped, for those two finals. But we were a close bunch of guys, and there were a lot of other guys behind us. We had 56 on the list, so there's a lot of guys missed out. And anyway, I got on the two games that I was on the bench, and we got a few kicks, so we stopped a few goals, and we won the game. So I'm happy.
And what were the celebrations like?
Mate, they went full weeks. You wouldn't believe it.
So you didn't work for a month, Marty?
Well, I was working for my father at the time, and I think he phoned me up Wednesday or Thursday and said, "Listen, son, are you coming to work or not?" And I think I still have the Langy jumper on, so we partied pretty hard.
And your old man was all right about that, was he?
Yeah, he was good.
And the fact that there's that bond now 50 years later, what does it mean to you 50 years down the track? More now than it did at the time?
Well, it sort of gets stronger and stronger because the club is getting stronger and stronger too, and the bond between the old and the new has never been better at Langwarrin. I mean, we're one of the biggest football clubs in Australia. We've got over 700 registered players between the juniors and here. So days like today, everybody's welcome, and we're talking to juniors, and they recognise us and we recognise them, and that's the way all clubs should be. That's how clubs survive.
Because you're a country town then, you're now an outer suburb. Things have really changed, haven't they?
Yeah, well, I think when I came out here in 1968, I think there were probably 1,600 people in Langy, and now we're talking 23, 24,000, and as you say, we're a suburb.
And the fact you won the flag in 1969, what was the greatest highlight of it, do you think?
Well, one of the highlights that I can remember, we were the youngest team in the comp. Our average age was about 19 and a half. On the day, we had 7 players that were 19 or younger at the beginning of the year. I was only 18. Our full forward, Peter Jones, and his twin brother, David, they played. Peter won the league goal kicking with about 8 or 10 minutes to go in the last quarter. He kicked his 100th goal.
Wow. At
18 years of age.
Jeez.
It was on the 20th of September. 5 days later, he turned 19.
Wow. So that was a great effort for a young kid to kick 100 goals.
Absolutely fantastic.
Good on you, Marty.
All right.
Thanks so much for having us today, and congratulations on the success of 69, and have a great day with all your mates.
I'm sure we will.
Good on you, Marty.
Thanks
very much.
Get your game face on.